Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make this seal design, which is designed by me, and this tutorial should have been out ages ago, but I'm finally filming it today. But here's the seal design, and I am absolutely in love with this design. If you don't know, seals are my favorite animal, so we are like way overdue for a seal design. I feel like with like animals and like things I really like, I'm always like so hesitant to like make the design because I'm like feel the pressure to make sure it's like a good design because obviously it's something I like. But yeah, I am really happy with this seal design. I think it's super cute and it's like better than I even imagined. So yeah, I think this design is a fairly easy design. I feel like what usually makes designs hard is like that there's a lot of attaching, and this design does have a little bit of attaching because we attached the flippers and the tail and like these guys, but I honestly think that this design is it's not like horrible. I also feel like seals are kind of just like little blobs, so there's that. I don't know. Also, fun fact, really quick, but the first ever post I did on my Instagram, like way back in like 2016 or 2015, is of a pink seal I did for one of Claire's Wears contests, and this seal actually kind of looks like a mini version of that seal, which I don't know, I just think that's kind of cool that I finally have a seal design. It's also like, I don't know, thoughts. But yeah, I'm gonna be showing you how to make this seal in this video today. As always, the pattern, band count, and everything will be in the description. As of right now, I don't know how many bands this takes. I don't think it's that many. I just haven't done the band count yet. Of course, if you want to make this design, you're going to need some bands in the colors you want your seal to be. Today, I'm actually going to be making a pink seal, so it looks like the seal I made a long time ago. And then I'm still going to be using black for the nose. I have some beads for the eyes, but if you don't have beads for the eyes, you could just use black bands. And if you want to give your seal some cheeks, you're going to want the bands for that. As always, you're going to need a hook. I'm using my double-ended hook today. You don't need a double-ended hook. You could use a crochet hook, a Rainbowloom hook, a plastic hook, I don't know. Someone commented recently on one of my videos that they used a pencil to make my design. And they probably have some patience because I imagine that's kind of difficult, so yeah, you just need something apparently that works like a hook, even if it isn't a hook. You're also going to need a C-clip just to mark your rows, mark where you start and end. There's my C-clip. And you are going to want some stuffing to stuff your seal. I'm going to be using cotton balls today, but you could use polyfill, or if you're really in a rut, torn up tissues work okay. Yeah, I think that's it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I already mentioned, the pattern is in the description if you want to follow along. I think it's helpful to like watch the video and look at the pattern, so yeah, you can do both. And I'm just going to pick up some of my pink bands and we will get started. But yeah, I also think that this design is like fairly simple to follow along with what I'm doing color wise because the seal's only one color. And I did do speckles on this guy, but if you're gonna have to figure out how to do the speckles on your own because I'm not gonna be showing you in this tutorial. But basically, if you do want speckles like I did in the seal, you would just place like a different darker color on the top of the seal. But I'm just going to be doing a solid color pink seal today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. There we go. I swear, every time I feel like I focus my camera, I switch hands and then it unfocuses. Okay, so we are going to start with a tripled cap band with 5 stitches in it. So we're going to start by wrapping a band 3 times around our hook. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to take another band, pull the band through just the cap band, put both ends back on your hook, and push the back one over the front loop. Like that. Now we're going to go back into the cap band. We're going to pull the band through just this cap band, so not this last loop. We're going to put both ends back on our hook. We're going to push this back loop over the front loop. And then we're going to push this loop that was left over on our hook from last time over as well. And we're going to repeat that thing we just did 3 more times. So like I said, we have 5 stitches in this loop in total. So I'll show you again. So we're going to go through the cap band, pull a band through just the cap band, put both ends back on our hook, push the back loop over the front loop, and then push this loop from last time over as well. Oop. And don't let go of your loops. Like that. So like I said, we need to repeat this until we have 5 stitches in the loop. We're at 3 stitches right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 more. We're just doing the same thing. I don't know why, I just like suddenly got nervous because I heard my roommate in our living area, which is like right outside my room, and I'm like, oh god, she's hearing me film. But we're good, we're good. That. Okay, so I did 2 more stitches in the cap band, so now I have 5 stitches in the cap band in total. And you want to count to make sure you have 5 stitches. So we're going to start by counting the one on our hook. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And once you've made sure you had 5 stitches, you're just going to go, instead of going into the cap band, you're going to go in through this first loop here. And then you're just going to pull a band through that first loop, both ends back on our hook, and just like before, push the back one over the front one, push the loop from last time over as well, and then this is the stitch that we will be putting our C-clip in. So that's it for the first bit, which I always think is the worst bit. So yeah, for the next row we are going to be increasing everything, and what that basically means is that every single stitch we do is going to be an increase. And if you don't know what an increase is, I'm going to show you in just a sec. I am, once again, feeling the need to let you know that I'm picking up more bands. But yeah. Okay. So like I said, we're increasing everything this row. So every single stitch we do is going to be an increase. And all an increase basically is we're putting 2 stitches per loop all the way around. So this first loop right here has 1 stitch in it, so we need to go back in and put another stitch into that same loop. So you can see that this loop already has 1 in it. We're going to go back in, make another stitch, and then that'll be an increase. It's a little confusing with the first stitch, so I'm going to show you again in the next stitch what we're doing. But basically, you're just going to go into the next loop, make 1 stitch, go back into that same loop, do another stitch, and that's an increase. So we're just going to keep doing this all the way around. So we'll go ahead and go into the next loop. Then we just put 2 stitches in this loop because we're increasing. That. I feel like my light's a little too bright. We should probably pull it back a little bit. Yeah, that helped. But yeah, so we're just going to continue increasing all the way around. Just doing 2 stitches per loop until we get to the C-clip. I feel like my camera's blurry, but lighting is a forever struggle for me. I don't know why. It just is. There we go. Okay, and then once you get to the C-clip, you're gonna just go through the stitch, not the stitch, the loop that has the C-clip on it. You're gonna pull a band through, and you're just gonna make a stitch, and then you'll move your C-clip up. So I just made a stitch on the loop with a C-clip on it. I don't know why I had so many awkward pauses there. But we're just going to take the C-clip off this loop and then move it up onto the loop that is onto the stitch on our hook. I don't know. So now if we count around, we should be at 10 stitches. So we'll start by counting the one on our hook. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And your seal should be looking something like this. Okay. So this next row, we are going to increase 3 stitches in a row on the top of our seal. So this is kind of where we decide like what part of our seal is going to be I don't know, the top part, because the way I designed this, he's kind of flat, and then he has like a little whoop, so he's, I don't know, more seal shaped. Seals are just blobs, but we're gonna be increasing 3 on the top so we can do the blob, so he can be more shaped. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah. Anyways, there are, so we're increasing 3 on the top, and you could just decide which part of your seal you want to be the top of your seal. But for me, I did write down specifically where I increased last time just so we can be like consistent. But technically it doesn't really matter. This is all very confusing and it doesn't need to be. But we're gonna go ahead and we're increasing 3 on the top. So we're gonna increase on the 5th, 6th, and 7th stitch. If you don't know what that means, I'm gonna walk you through it. But if you do know what that means, then yeah. Okay, so the way I count is this first stitch with a C-clip on it is gonna be our first stitch. So this one with the C-clip will be 1. And we're just doing single stitches when we're not increasing, by the way. So this one's gonna be 1. This next one will be 2. And I don't think we've done any single stitches yet. So all the single stitches is you're just doing 1 stitch per loop. So yeah, kind of self-explanatory. So we have 1 because it's the one with the C-clip on it. This one's 2, the next one's 3. This one's 4. So the next one would be 5. And like I said, we're increasing on the 5th, 6th, and 7th. So we just did 4 single stitches, so we can count backwards if you got lost. So start by counting the one on your hook. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then this 5th one here is going to be an increase. And like I said, we're doing 3 increases in a row. So the next 3 stitches are going to go ahead and be increases. So just like before, we're putting 2 stitches per loop. So in these next 3 loops, just increase or just put 2 stitches per loop. Like that. So now if we look at it, you can kind of see that the last three stitches I did were increases. And after we do those 3 increases, it's just single stitches the rest of the way until we get to the C-clip. So we'll just do single stitches the rest of the way. Like that. And then once again, once you get to the one that has a C-clip on it, you're just gonna take the C-clip off the loop it was on and move it up onto the loop that is on your hook. So after that row, we should be at 13 stitches. So if we count around, we should have 13. Once again, always start by counting the one on your hook. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like that. So for this next row, we're doing pretty much the same thing. We're gonna increase 3 on the top again. And this time we're gonna increase on the 4th, 5th, wait, no. Oh, they're spaced out, aren't they? I'm sorry. It's been a minute since I made this seal, so I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, and now I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. So these are not like 3 in a row this row, it's like we alternate on the top. So we're gonna increase 3 on the top of the seal, but they're not in a row. And we're increasing on the 4th, 6th, and 8th. So we'll do an increase, do a single stitch, do an increase, do a single stitch, do an increase. And then the rest besides those 3 are all single stitches. And once again, I promise this sounds more confusing than it is. Once we do it, it won't be that bad, but yeah, it sounds kind of confusing right now. Okay. Just getting a few more bands on my hand. This is unrelated, but I was taking a printmaking class this summer, and we were doing some relief carvings, which are like, you use a tool to like cut out pieces of a block to make a print, and I accidentally stabbed my finger, and like my finger I thought was completely better, but I haven't loomed since this happened, and honestly my finger still kind of hurts because I just got the tool and like straight up just jabbed it into my finger pretty hard. So I would thought it was better, but I'm putting bands on it, and like when I loom I kind of hit my finger a bit and it kind of hurts each time I do that, which yeah, just thoughts I'm having that I thought I would share for no reason. But anyways, so I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Now we're in focus. So like I said, we're gonna increase on the 4th, so we need to do single stitches until we get to the 4th. So once again, this first one with the C-clip on it is gonna count as 1. So this next one is 2. And then the next stitch is 3. Which means, now that we've done 1, 2, 3, this next one's 4, so we're gonna go ahead and increase on this one. So once again, we do 2 stitches in this loop. And then we're gonna go ahead and do a single stitch because the next one we increase on is the 6th. So this is the 4th, we just did an increase. This next one's the 5th, so we're gonna do a single stitch. And then this next one, now that we've done the single stitch, is gonna be the 6th. And we're increasing on this one, so we're gonna go ahead and do an increase. And then on the 7th we do a single stitch, so go ahead and do 1 single stitch. And then again on the 8th we do an increase. And then the rest of the way is just single stitches. Yeah, see, like every time I loom I kind of like poke my finger a little bit, and it doesn't hurt bad, it's just I don't know, I wasn't expecting my finger to still be sore because this happened like probably a week ago. I don't know, but if any of you care, my printmaking class was a lot of fun and I'm glad I took it, and I'm kind of sad it's over now, but it was a good class. And if you want to see what prints I made in this class, by the time this tutorial's up I think I would have posted a little printmaking dump on Instagram if anyone's interested. Anyways, once you get to the C-clip, we'll make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, and then we're just gonna go ahead and move the C-clip up like that. So now if we count around, we should be at 16 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And at this point, your seal should be looking a little something like this. So he kind of looks kind of funky right now, but I promise he rounds out. He just has kind of an awkward face. But yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna get a little bit repetitive. We're gonna be doing 2 rows normal, so 2 rows of single stitches. And at the end of each of these 2 rows, we're still gonna be at 16 loops. Since it's only 2 rows, I'm going to stay on and do the 2 rows with you, so you can stay and loom with me if you'd like. But if you also want, you can pause, go do the 2 rows, and then just skip ahead in the tutorial. But if you want me to keep you company, I will still be here looming. But we're going to get started on those 2 rows of single stitches. And these rows are pretty simple. We're just going to be doing 1 stitch per loop all the way around. So we're just doing 1 stitch per loop until we get to the C-clip, and like I already mentioned, at the end of each of these rows, we should still be at 16 loops. But yeah, I thought I could just, I mean, we've already done a lot of this, so I'm gonna start talking because why not? We're just doing single stitches, and it's repetitive. So, oh my god, my light is so annoying to me. Yeah, I'm so excited to finally have seal design on this channel. You guys have no idea. Seals, like I already said, they're my favorite animal, and I think this design literally turned out perfect in my opinion, if that's possible. I don't know, but I'm very excited about it. I also think I've been kind of laughing because I know I haven't been on my channel much, but I occasionally will like read YouTube comments, And I keep getting a lot of comments saying that I'm a yapper, which I think is funny because I'm not gonna deny I'm a yapper. I talk a lot in my tutorials sometimes, especially in some of the ones I filmed recently. I would film them after being in the studio all day, and usually when I'm in the studio, like minus a little bit of talking, I don't talk at all for hours. So I guess it came off in some of my tutorials that like, oh geez, you talk a lot, and like, yeah, that's true, but I kind of don't even care. Like, you guys are calling me a yapper, and I'm just like, you're not wrong, because I am a yapper, and that's just kind of how it is, and I'm okay with it. I also think that the word yapper is funny. I use it on my friends and stuff sometimes too. I'm like, God, you're such a yapper. So when people were commenting that I'm a yapper on my tutorials, I'm just like, yep, that's fair. And you know, maybe that's why this is in a video form, so if you don't like my yapping, you could always fast forward. Anyways, I just finished my first row of single stitches, and I'm not gonna count this row to see if I have 16, but I'll count at the end of the next row to make sure that we didn't like accidentally increase anywhere. But that was one row of single stitches, and I'm picking up bands, and then we'll do the second row. But yeah, to be honest, I kind of like talking in my tutorials because to me it makes me seem more like a person instead of just like, I don't know, a tutorial robot. I also just like sharing little bits of my life with you guys, and I've always done this in my tutorials. I just kind of talk about what's going on, and I like that. So I'm gonna keep doing it, and yeah, I'm a yapper, and I've accepted it, and that's okay. And I don't think being a yapper is a bad thing. Some of us just talk a lot. Anyways, that was one row. We're gonna go ahead and get started on the second row of single stitches. Also, you guys probably don't care about this, but like, I'm filming this tutorial in my pajamas right now, and it's so... I don't know why I've never filmed a tutorial in my pajamas before. Like, it just occurred to me today that in my tutorials I'm just hands, and like I don't have to get ready to film if I'm just hands. Like, I can film in my pajamas, so I am filming in my pajamas today, which just because I've also been like extremely lazy these past couple days. I finished my summer class this past Friday, and it's like Tuesday now, and then I'm heading home in a week. So I'm still at my university, but it's been kind of nice to just like take a break and do nothing for a bit. Well, I haven't been doing nothing. I've been working on some things for my sibling that I'm very excited about, that I'll actually be posting in the next couple days. That's actually a really cool opportunity. So yeah, but I don't know. It's just been, I feel like I've been going non-stop since like last summer, just with like school and like everything, and then it's chaos. I feel like the break in December that everyone gets too, like for the holidays or whatever, is never a break, because it's just like, oh my god, it's Christmas, now we're gonna do all these things. So I honestly feel like this is the first break I'm getting in over a year. So, well, not over a year, I guess about a year. Anyways, I've just been at my university in my apartment, like chilling and just doing some things I've been meaning to do for ages, and it's been so nice. And if any of you guys are on summer break and you want to share in the comments what you've been doing over the summer, I would love to read them. But yeah, all I've been doing this past week is just catching up on things I've been meaning to do, and just honestly taking a break, and it has been so nice. I can't even say it's actually, I needed a break, guys. I didn't even realize I needed a break until I was talking to someone else I know, and they were like, you need to stop for like a week and just do nothing. And I was like, you're so right. But yeah, I've been having fun, and honestly this is my first time looming in a while, and I have some ideas for some designs I want to make already, so I'll be back. I have ideas. Anyways, we just finished the 2 rows of single stitches, and your seal should be looking a little something like this. I know he still kind of looks funny right now, but I promise it all works out. He just kind of looks a little weird at the moment. So now for this next row, we are going to be decreasing on the top. So just kind of before like how we increased on the top, we're going to be decreasing 2 stitches on the top to make him a little smaller. I don't know, but it's very similar to what we did before, but now we're decreasing, so I'll show you how we do that. And yeah, So once again, we are actually going to start our first decrease on the sixth. Sixth is a hard word to say. The sixth stitch. So this one, once again, will be 1, and we'll just count till we get to 6. So 1, and we're just doing single stitches till we get to 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So once you've done 5 single stitches, so once again you can count backwards to make sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna go ahead and decrease on this next one, which is the 6th. I also just want to say, I just realized I forgot to count to make sure I have 16 on the last row. So before you start doing, you could count right now to check if you have 16. So technically we could start here and just count around. So 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I still have 16, so I'm okay. But yeah, I just forgot to count. So that was for the end of last row. We're supposed to have 16. At the end of this row, we'll have 14. But we're going to go ahead and decrease on the next 2 stitches we do. So this first one's going to be our first decrease. So we're going to grab the inside part of one loop. Let me make sure my camera's in focus. Inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, and then we'll just make a stitch on this. And that's a decrease. So I'll show you again on the next loop because we're doing 2 decreases in a row. Inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, and make a stitch. That's it. And once again, the rest of the way is just going to be single stitches until we get to the C-clip. Okay, then once we get to the C-clip, we'll make a stitch on the one that has the C-clip on it, and then we'll just take the C-clip off the band it's on and move it up onto the band that is on our hook. So now if we count around, we should have 14, so we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And your seal should be looking, that all came out in a jumble of words. Your seal should be looking a little something like this. And it's starting to kind of take shape now, and I feel like you guys can see the seal vision. Okay. So, the next 2 rows are just like before. We're going to do 2 rows again of single stitches, and at the end of each of these 2 rows, we should still be at 14 loops. And once again, because it's only 2 rows, I'm going to stay on camera. I'm going to do the 2 rows with you, and then we'll get to the next steps. And yeah. So I'm just gonna, we'll just do 2 rows of single stitches. So, just like before, we're just doing 1 stitch per loop all the way around until we get to the C-clip. And we do this for 2 rows, and at the end of each of the rows, we should still be at 14 loops. And since I'm staying on camera just to do these 2 rows really quick, I'm gonna, once again, just start chatting. I was trying to think about what I could tell you, like, that's been going on in my life recently, but honestly, I've just really been enjoying being at my apartment and just kind of chilling. I've been doing a lot of roller skating. If you don't know, I like to roller skate. I still don't roller skate that well, but it's fun and I like doing it. So I've been doing that. And then even the printmaking class I took this summer, it wasn't as intense as the classes I took last summer, because last summer I took a Spanish class and I took painting, and painting, I also feel like because painting's my major, it like never ends. Like I could mess with a painting forever because there's just always something like I want to fix. So like I had some pretty intense classes last summer, so when I took printmaking this summer, it was also like the first printmaking class, because like I'm in painting 7 now for this fall, and that'll be my final painting class. So I've already taken like 7 painting classes. But last summer I was in painting 4, I think. And I was taking printmaking 1 this summer, so obviously it's not as hard when you're in like the higher upper level courses. So even when I was in a class, it still wasn't like as intense. So I got a bit of a break this summer. It was so nice. But yeah, it was a fun class. I've also been enjoying, because I've made a friend this semester. Not that I didn't have friends before. I've honestly been realizing lately I've made so many friends at school and stuff that I just like hanging out with. But I made a friend who lives sort of far away, and he's been visiting some weekends. So I also really enjoy when he visits, because then I have people to hang out with. But that was 1 row of single stitches. We have to go ahead and do another row, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the 2nd row. But yeah, I've honestly just been hanging out with, like, he visits some weekends, so then I hang out with him and his roommates, and that's fun. Sometimes I just go out with his roommates, which is fun as well. I don't know, it's just been a very chill summer, not so like work heavy, which has been nice. I also did work this summer. I worked at my usual job, but my usual job is like, I don't know if any of this is interesting, by the way, I'm just rambling, but I usually work at like the dining center on campus, and I usually work at the same place, so we serve the same stuff, but I worked serving summer camps this summer, and that was an interesting experience, but I got paid for it, so I can't complain. And my bosses are all really cool, so it was cool. It was honestly really chill, and I didn't mind, and I honestly liked working this summer at the summer camp. I kind of regret not working last summer, but I had some 6 a.m. shifts, so I would have to be at work at 6 a.m. and 6 a.m. is just too early for life, I've decided, because like it's way too early. I did it because it was like the only shifts they would give me, because there wasn't too many shifts available, so I did a couple 6 a.m. shifts, and like I did them, but never, I don't want to say never again, but if I have the option to do 6 a.m., it's just, no. I thought 8 a.m. classes were bad, and then I did 6 a.m. work shifts, and I was like, this is worse. But yeah, honestly, I think I might have to take an 8 a.m. class this fall, and that's gonna feel easy after those 6 a.m. shifts. Because, yeah, 6 a.m. is just too early. No one should be up at 6 a.m. Anyways, that was my 2nd row of single stitches. So we're gonna go ahead and count around to make sure we're still at 14 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And your seal should be looking a little something like this. So for this next row, we are going to be increasing just 1 stitch on the top, and at the end of this row we should be at 13 loops. So honestly, the rest of this pattern we're just like slowly decreasing, so we're just like decreasing 1 per row, or like 1 to 2 per row. And that's pretty much it. So for this row, we're decreasing 1 on the 4th. So we're gonna go ahead and do 3 single stitches, and then on the 4th one we'll do our decrease. So once again, this one's 1, 2, oops, 2, sorry, my hook got all tangled. So 1, 2, 3, and then this next one is 4, so we're gonna go ahead and do our decrease. So once again, inside part of 1 loop, back part of the next loop, then you just go ahead and make a stitch. And then after you do that 1 decrease, the rest of the way is just single stitches. So we're just gonna go ahead and do single stitches until we get to the C-clip. Another really cool thing that's happening that I'm just gonna mention real quick, because I don't know, we're just doing single stitches, so why not just chat, is I have the opportunity to go to Chicago in like a week, which came up so randomly, and I'm excited. It's also crazy because I never thought I would go to Chicago. Like, I'm from Texas, I've talked about this, and like I've been to a couple different states around Texas, but I feel like never did I think I was going to Chicago this summer. And one of the reasons why I'm really excited to go to Chicago, if you don't know this, I'm an art major. I love art, I love seeing art, and there's a really cool art museum in Chicago. They also have the Bean. I feel like everyone knows the Bean, which actually isn't called the Bean. It's called Cloudgate, if you don't know. It's by Anish Kapoor or whatever. And I know him as an artist. I think he's a little bit problematic, but I'm excited. And if you don't know this, by the way, he hates when people call it the Bean, but I'm excited to see the Bean. I've seen actually one of his sculptures. This is like, now we're going off on a nerdy art rant, but I seen one of his sculptures outside the Dallas Cowboys Stadium when I went to see Taylor Swift. They're pretty fun. I mean, they're mirrors, so that's cool, but I feel like the Bean is just so iconic. I also just think like bean shapes are funny. Funny. So I'm excited. I'm so excited to go to Chicago for a couple days. I'm going with my sister and my mom, and I am beyond hyped to see the Bean. I also kind of want to make one of my Loom jelly bean designs and take it to me with the Bean, and then take a picture of my jelly bean design with the Bean, because I think that could be fun. So I'm gonna see. I might have to make a new jelly bean, because I don't know where all my jelly bean design ones went. I think they're in my Loom box back at home, but I'm gonna if not, I'm gonna make another one, because I think that would be such a funny photo. Anyways, we finished this row. So if we count around now, so just to recap what we did this row, we decreased 1 on the 4th, and then we just did single stitches the rest of the way, and we should be at 13 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like that. So that's it for that row. For this next row, we're doing something very similar. We're going to decrease 2 stitches this row. We're going to decrease on the 2nd and the 3rd. And I think that's it. So we're decreasing on the 2nd and the 3rd. And at the end of this row, we should be at 11 stitches. So as you can see, we're kind of slowly getting smaller. I also think this is the last row, and then we're, not the last row, but this is the last row, and then we're going to want to stuff it after this row, because then it gets kind of tiny and then it gets hard to stuff. So like I said, we're decreasing on the 2nd and the 3rd, so actually the next 2 stitches right after the C-clip are where our decreases are where our decreases are going to be. So this is 1, 2nd and 3rd are the next 2, so we're going to go ahead and do 2 decreases in a row. So inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch, and we'll do our 2nd decrease, so just do the same thing again. And then once again, the rest of the way is just single stitches. Okay. I was just checking to make sure that what we're doing is right, but it looks good. So yeah. Just doing single stitches the rest of the way. Honestly, I want to say more about the Chicago trip because it's kind of crazy why I'm going to Chicago, but if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post about it. I just don't know how much I can say, which is kind of weird, because like it's not a family vacation, it's part of my sister and this chaos she's created, which I'll be posting on Instagram soon, and it's just been crazy, but I'm super excited to go to Chicago. I'm super proud of my sister, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm so excited to go, hopefully to the art museum in Chicago as well. It's always interesting seeing like what different art pieces different museums have. I mean, most of them just have like the big artists. It's like the same, like I'd say like 50 artists that most museums have now that I've been to a couple big museums, but still excited nonetheless. Anyways, we should be at 11 loops now, so we're gonna count to make sure we have 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Why do I have 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 11, I just can't count. So that's it for this row, and your seal should be looking a little something like this. And like I said, right now we're gonna wanna go ahead and stuff him. Okay, I had to pause to get cotton balls, but we're back. Of course, you guys, I always say that, but like, there's no time there's no awkward time for you guys because I just cut it so it just jumps, but yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and stuff our seals. Like I said, I'm using cotton balls. I'm tearing up my cotton ball right now because to me the cotton balls work better when you tear them up a little bit. And you can take out your hook and the C-clip should hold it, just don't like pull on the C-clip and we should be fine. And you're just gonna go ahead and stuff your seal. I don't know why. I'm gonna stuff this guy off camera, but we're just, you know, putting stuff in there. It's still, I've been doing tutorials now for like over 5 years and I still have such a hard time stuffing my creations on camera. I don't know what it is. It's just, I feel like I don't have enough space like between the desk and where the camera is that I don't like accidentally whack it. So, yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys can hear all that noise. I assume they're doing some kind of construction on my apartment. There was one of the other tutorials I mentioned that you could like hear stuff, and you actually could in the playback hear like the chaos of outside. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something though. Okay. So after you stuff your seal, it should look a little something like this. We're probably gonna have to add a little bit more stuffing to the tail after we do a few more rows, but now is a good point to just like stuff him a little bit. So this row we're gonna be decreasing on the second. So basically the first stitch we do this row, besides the one we did for the C-clip, is gonna be a decrease, and then it's just single stitches at the rest of the way, and then we should be at 10 stitches at the end of this row. And believe it or not, we're almost done. We have 2 rows left after this, and then our seal, or I guess like the body of our seal is done. Oh my god. I feel like they're really... Okay, I'm sorry. I just like... I don't even know if you guys... I'm worried about the sound. I'm gonna like pause and give it 2 seconds to see if they chill out. I don't know what the guy was doing. He was doing some kind of yard work, but he moved. It's kind of crazy that he was like, I don't know how loud it was in the video, but he was really loud, like to me. And it's kind of crazy because like I'm up a few, like quite a few floors, and he was still so loud and he was on the ground. Anyways, so like I said, we're decreasing on the second this row, and then the rest will be single stitches. So this first one's our first stitch, so like I said, it's the one directly after the one with the C-clip on it. We're gonna go ahead and do our decrease. So inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch, and then the rest of the way is just single stitches. Okay. So now we are back at the C-clip, and we're just gonna make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, move it up. And like I said, we should be at 10 stitches at the end of this row, so we'll go ahead and count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So we only have 2 rows left, and the next row we are going to be decreasing every other, and what that basically means is we're just gonna alternate between doing a decrease and then a single stitch. And I'll show you what we mean by that, but basically we're just alternating between stitches. So this first stitch will be our single stitch, so the next one's a decrease, so we'll go ahead and do our decrease. And then because we just did a decrease, we're gonna go ahead and do a single stitch. And because we just did a single stitch, now we're gonna do a decrease. So basically, like I said, we're just alternating between doing single stitches and decreases all the way around. And we're just gonna do this until we get to the C-clip. So like I said, just did a single stitch, so now we're gonna decrease. And everything starts getting a little tight here, so I'm sorry if it's hard to see what I'm doing. I'm trying my best, but when things start getting small, it's kind of hard to see. But I'm just alternating between doing single stitches and decreases until we get to the C-clip. check something. Okay. So your last decrease is gonna land on the C-clip. Just go ahead and do it. And we can just go ahead and do the decrease on the one with the C-clip on it. We should be at 6 loops after this. We can go ahead and move our C-clip up. We should be at 6 loops now, and it's really hard to count, but we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And like I mentioned, you might want to add just the slightest bit more stuffing to the tail, just so he doesn't have like a soggy tail. We kind of do have to wait to the very end to add this last little bit, but it helps. Okay. And at this point we can take the C-clip out. We're just going to decrease everything till closed. So every single stitch we do is going to be a decrease until we can't decrease anymore. So we're just going to do decreases all the way around until we can't. And it's really hard to see what I'm doing, I know. But I actually think this next one is going to be my last decrease. So once you have the last decrease you can do up on your hook, you're going to take a band, pull it through everything on your hook, and then push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And then we'll just go ahead and hide this tail into our seal body. Okay. And then that's it. You should have a seal body. If he looks a little lumpy, I found just giving him a good squish really helps everything. And he should look pretty good after you give him a squish. Like that. So now we need to do the flippers. Well, the flipper, the flippers, and then the little nose bit and face. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with let's start with the flippers, I think. Okay, I paused to make sure I knew what I was doing. So we're gonna go ahead and make like a nose piece. This looks like nothing. And a flipper first. So we're gonna start with the flipper, and we can go ahead and just set this guy aside. But the flipper is made in a very similar way as when we started the seal. So we're gonna do a triple cap band with 6 stitches in it. If my camera would focus. Focus, please. Or not. Whatever you want. Oh no. Come on. There we go. So we're gonna start with a triple cap band. Oh no, now I moved closer. There we go. So we're gonna start with a triple cap band. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put 6 stitches in the cap band. And this is for the flippers. So 1, I'm gonna go back in, 2 stitches. And I'm not explaining this too much because we already did this at the start of this design, so if you want me to explain what I'm doing here slower, you can always go to the start of the video and watch how I did it there. But we're basically just putting 6 stitches in the cap band. So 2, 3. Wait, are we on 4? I can't count. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, wait. 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 5. And 6. And then once you have 6 stitches in your cap band, you can count to make sure. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're just gonna go in through this first loop here, pull a band through, and we're gonna use this band to tie into our seal. So we're gonna go ahead. You can just pick where you want the fins. I know it's also kind of hard to see where you want the fins right now, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go right here, and we'll just tie it in. So just slip knot that in. And I think I usually tie the flippers on twice, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through part of the flipper, then go through part of the seal, pull a band through everything, push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And I think it's a good idea not to tuck in any of the tails until we've attached everything and you like where everything is. We're gonna go ahead and attach the other flipper since I already made the other one. But you could always pause, make the other flipper, and then watch me tie it in or whatever. So once again, we have the band that we pulled through that we're gonna use to tie into the flipper. And I'm gonna try to put it about exactly on the other side. So we're gonna go right here, I think. You just pull this band through, both ends on your hook, push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And then, like I said, I usually tie the flippers in twice. So I'm gonna go through part of the seal and then part of the flipper again. And you just pull a band through everything and then pull tight. Dang, I actually got these flippers pretty like exactly across, which is impressive for a tutorial, because usually when I film tutorials it's hard to see what I'm doing on camera and everything ends up a little lopsided, so yeah. So the next thing we're going to do is the nose, or like, I don't know, the lips, whatever you want to call these guys, but they're very similar to the flippers. In fact, we do the same thing. It's a tripled cap band, but there's only 5 stitches in it, and I already made one and it's gonna go right on the front of his face, but we're gonna go, I'll show you how to make the other one, but it's very similar to the flippers. It's just we put one less stitch in the cap band. So once again, we're gonna start with the tripled cap band, and then we're gonna put 5 stitches in this cap band. So we'll pull the band through, both ends back on our hook, push the back one over the front one, that's 1, go back through the cap band, pull a band through, push the back one over the front one, and then push the loop from last time over as well. That's 2. And we'll do that again. 3, 4, and 5. And once we have 5 stitches, we're going to want to count to make sure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to go in through the first loop, pull a band through, and then we'll use this band to tie the nose onto the front of our seal. And you just kind of have to decide where you want the nose. I don't know how else to describe it. I can show you this guy so you can kind of see where his nose is at. You just kind of pick the same spot. I think I'm just gonna go right here, maybe. And this is also why it's a good idea to leave the tails out after you tie one side in, is just to make sure you like where it is before you tie the other side in. And I think with these, I think I only tied them in like 2 or 3 times, so we tied the first part in, so I'm gonna come on the bottom and then I'm gonna tie it in again. We're just using slip knots to tie everything in. I'm gonna go ahead and do a 3rd tie right here. I don't know if it needs it, but I can undo it if I don't like it. I might have not needed that 3rd tie. I'm gonna undo that. I think these mouth parts are probably the hardest parts to get right. Unfortunately, it's just trial and error. I have this one. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the other one on, and we're gonna hope it looks okay. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna tuck all these tails in real quick just to see if I like where I put these. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. And I know that these nose bits might be hard to put on, but you kind of just have to guess and just hope they come out okay, which sounds kind of bad, but I don't know how else to explain it, and you just have to adjust where they are, which is kind of a pain, but just, yeah. I think mine look pretty good. I think they just look bad right now because of all the tails. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause. I'm gonna tuck in all these tails and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, we have a new battery. We have a new SD card. We can finally finish this tutorial. I don't know why. I checked and all of a sudden I was running out of space. I was running out of battery. I was like, geez, everything's just falling apart. But turns out I just did put them a little to the side. I think I couldn't see when I was filming. I'm hoping these are in the right spot now, and I think a good way to test if your seal lips, I don't know, are in the right spot is just to put a nose. So I'm going to show you how to do the nose. The nose is really simple. It's just 2 black bands, or whatever color you want your seal's nose to be, and you're just going to wrap them 4 times around your hook. Then you're going to take a band in your seal color, and you're going to pull it through. Slide it all on, and then you'll tie this right in between the lips to be a nose. And hide your tail, and I actually think that now they look good. It's always so hard to tell without the nose and like the face. I think we'll do the tail first and then we'll put the final touches on the face. But once you have the nose on, usually it's pretty easy to tell if everything's good or not. So, yep, to me that looks pretty good. And we could do the face right now, honestly. Yeah, let's just do the face right now and then we'll do the tail. So, for the face, if you don't have beads, by the way, I'm just getting a piece of floss. If you don't have beads, you can use black bands, and you would just wrap the band 4 or 5 times around your hook and then pull a band through. But if you are going to use beads, you are going to need a piece of string of some kind. I think dental floss works best. So I have a piece of dental floss, a band. And then if you're wondering what size beads I'm using, these are just 4mm round beads that I got off Amazon. They're just plastic. But you're going to take your bead, you're going to slide it onto your string. And then you're going to want to make sure that the band is on this other side of the bead. So technically I should have probably put the band on second, but like the band is so easy to move, so I just put it on first and then like scooted it over. But then once you have the bead and then the band, you're gonna fold back over and go back through the bead, and then just slide your bead onto the band. And then we'll do that for both of the eyes. So you'll put your bead on the string, you'll take a band, put it on the string as well, and then just slide, there we go, your bead onto the band. And then we'll use this to tie into the face. I think I'm gonna put one of the eyes right here. Oh yeah, I think his face looks cute. It's kind of hard to see unless I hide the tail. No, yeah, he looks good. I think maybe I could tie one of the lips a little bit closer, but it's probably something I can fix later, so it's not a big deal. We'll go ahead and put the other eye. I like putting the eyes really close to where the lips are. So we'll put the other eye right here. Then you just hide your tail. And if you want your seal to have cheeks, which I do because I think giving them a little bit of blush is super cute, you're just gonna go ahead and take a band in the color you want your cheeks to be. Let's try to get another one. And then you're just gonna come really close to where under the eye is. You're gonna pull this band through, put both ends back on your hook, and you're gonna wanna push the back one over the front one, and you're gonna pull it tight, but you just wanna pull it tight enough so it doesn't just slip out, and then hide your tail. So you don't wanna tie it super tight. Like that. And we'll do this on the other side as well. I feel like my camera's not in focus right now, I'm so sorry. And we'll just hide the tail. Like that. And that's pretty much it for the seal face. But our seal is once again missing a very important thing. He's missing a tail. Wasn't planning on leaving the tail till last, but it's kind of hard to attach the face without seeing the whole face, so yeah. So we're just gonna do the tail. The tail's not that bad. I don't know where I was going with that. It's just not that bad. I'm just picking up some bands real quick and then we'll go ahead and do the tail. And yeah. I was just looking at my seal like, I absolutely love this design. Ugh, so good. Also, I'm noticing that I think that these beads I used before were a little bit bigger than the ones I'm using now. But they both look cute. It's just, these were some different beads I bought actually from Michael's because I forgot to bring the beads I usually use home, and they said that they were also 4mm beads, but these are a little smaller, but I kind of like the smaller ones better, honestly, so I don't know. So for the tail, what we're gonna do is we are gonna chain up a loop, right? Yeah. So we're gonna do like 2 chains and each one will be a flipper. So we're just gonna come into the end of the tail here. You're just gonna pick a spot. You're gonna chain up 1, and then we're gonna put 7 stitches in this chain. So we're gonna go ahead and do 7 stitches in this chain. And I don't know if you're picky about this, but if you're like me, I liked for all of my stitches to be facing the same way. So just make sure your stitches are facing the right way if you're picky about that. If you're not picky, ignore this. There's not really a backwards way. I prefer when like this little bit, like this folded over bit is towards the front, so I just made sure my hook's the right way so when I loom that bit ends towards the front. But we're just gonna put 7 stitches into this loop, into this chain we made. So I'm at 3, 4, and I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing, but that's just kind of because of how this tail is. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we need to do 1 more, and that'll be 7. So once you have 7 stitches in this chain, you are going to want to count to make sure, and it's kind of hard to see, so I think the easiest way to do this is to just count backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then once you have 7 stitches, you're going to go ahead and do the other flipper. So you're going to go back through like the end bit of this guy's tail. We're going to chain up another one, another chain, and we're going to be putting 7 stitches in this chain as well. But for this first stitch, we're going to go ahead and pull our band through everything on our hook and then push the back one over the front one. And that's just, we're just doing like a slip stitch for this first stitch, but for the rest of the stitches, you're just going to do regular single stitches. But we still count this first one. So we had our 1 slip stitch, and now we're going to do 6 single stitches, so we have 7 stitches in this chain in total. And I'm so sorry, but it's so hard to see what I'm doing. So I think we need to do 1 more, so we have 7. So now if we count, we should have 7 in this portion, so we can just count backwards again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And once we have 7, we can just go through part of our seal. Just go through part of your seal. And then we're just gonna slip stitch to tie it off. So we'll just pull a band through everything, push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. And then we'll just go ahead and hide that tail. And then our seal should be done. And yes, I hid the tail off camera. I hate hiding tails on camera. And then that's pretty much it. You should have a seal. And honestly, I actually really think the seal's adorable that I made in this tutorial. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at him off camera. So I hope your seal turned out okay. If you make a seal, definitely share it with me on Instagram. I've been a little bit behind on posts, but I promise, like, I love seeing you guys make my stuff. So if you make a seal, definitely share it with me. Also, these seals were the post for my summer loom game. Not gonna lie, I kind of neglected my summer loom game a bit, but I'm gonna be addressing and fixing and doing all kinds of stuff for my loom game this week, and I'm sorry I neglected it. Some of you guys have been putting so much hard work in, and I've seen all your posts and you guys are doing amazing, but I'm really gonna start promoting it, being active in like Instagram about it, and there is a prize. I'm not canceling this loom game, and yeah, there'll be more details on that this week, but there is still time to join my summer loom game if you want to have a little bit of fun before the summer's over. And you can check that out on my Instagram. You can subscribe if you want to see what more tutorials are coming from me, as well as more videos and just chaos. But yeah, I'm excited to have a little bit of a break before my semester officially begins, and I'm hoping to release a few more tutorials. In fact, until school starts, I'm just going to be focusing on my channel, so you should definitely subscribe if you want to see some, I don't know, if you want to know when more Rainbowloom tutorials are released. You can follow me on Instagram if you want. I have my Instagram link down below. I post, especially when I'm in school, just kind of what projects I'm working on. I post still Rainbowloom so you guys can see what's coming, as well as just life updates. So if you want to just see more of me and, I don't know, my Rainbowloom content, follow my Instagram. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, making it to the end. I don't know. I hope your seal came out really cute, and yeah, I can't wait to see everyone's seals, but I think that's it for this tutorial, so I will see you in the next one. Bye.